Hi everybody, Adam again. Welcome to Right to the Top. In today's video, I want to talk to you about your preparations for the IELTS or TOEFL exams. Now, I've actually made a video similar to this one in the past. I decided to redo it and give you a little bit more specific look at the idea bank. So today I'm going to look at how to create an idea bank for yourself and how to use it as a practice tool. Now, I know some of you maybe don't want to buy one of these. I have these for sale on my site. Make your own. It's free. It just requires effort. Put in the effort and you will actually gain a lot more by doing it yourself, okay? So let's get right into it. I'll show you all the pieces, all the things you're going to need to include in it, and then I'll show you how to use it. So the key elements of the idea bank. Now, again, just to refresh our minds, what is an idea bank? It's just a collection of vocabulary, topics, questions, essays for specific topics if you find that you don't have good ideas when it comes to the essays. And that's a big problem for a lot of people. It's not just you. A lot of people, they just can't come up with ideas. They don't know what to write about, how to support an argument. So that's what the idea bank does. So you're going to include vocabulary. You're going to collect all the vocabulary about a particular topic. You're going to put in your key synonyms. So you'll find that certain words you're repeating a lot. For example, in education, you're probably using the word student a lot. So you want to make sure you have alternatives for the word student, okay? Subtopics. So your general topic is education or technology. What are more like specific or smaller topics that they may actually ask you about? So technology is big. The internet is big. You want to look something more specific, like what you can do on the internet, if it's good or bad. And I'll show you some examples. You want to start collecting actual questions. Questions that you might see in the essay section or the Task 2 section of your IELTS or TOEFL exam. Again, I'm going to show you examples of these. Now, you want to collect examples. You want to think of examples. These are examples that you're going to use to support your arguments in your essay. And these should be, as much as possible, universal examples. And then sample essays. You can get them online. You can get them all kinds of different places. And you should also have your own that you can compare and see the differences in styles, scores, etc. Let's get right into it. So, the first thing I want you to understand is what are the main topics that you're going to come across in the IELTS or TOEFL exam. These are the most common topics. Now, do I recommend that you create an idea bank for each of these topics? No. That's a lot of work, a lot of time. Maybe some of it is going to be a bit useless for you in particular. Concentrate on the weak area. The topics that you find that you just don't know about or you have no ideas about, create an idea bank for that topic. If you have a problem with education, you don't have enough vocabulary or you just don't know what to say, you don't know what kind of ideas or what kind of questions they may ask you about, start working on an idea bank for education. If you have a problem with questions about society or questions about advertising or animals, start creating an idea bank for those topics that, I'm guessing you've taken some practice tests by now. You've seen a few sample questions. Some of them gave you a hard time. Work on that topic. Now, let's get into the actual details. Vocabulary. What are you going to do for vocabulary? First, you're going to brainstorm. So let's say you're talking about technology. We're going to look at technology this time. Just as much as you can, write down every single word or every single phrase or every single expression that you can think of about technology. This is called brainstorming. Just sit and think, and write. When you've done your brainstorming, you have your collection of words. Now you need to make that collection bigger, much bigger. So now you're going to search the internet. You're going to go online, you're going to go to your search engine, Google, Bing, whatever you use. You're going to put whatever topic, so technology plus ESL, or technology plus vocabulary, or technology plus English vocabulary, and you're going to see a list of sites. Now you may have to go through 5, 6, 7, 10 different websites to collect all these words. But the effort is worth it. The more effort you put into it, the more you get out of it, right? As you're building this, you're already starting to learn vocabulary and remember words, right? So you're going to search and collect. So now you have, let's say, 300 words in expressions and collocations. Now you need to categorize them. You need to put them into categories. That way they're easier to remember when you're reviewing them, okay? So categories: people, concepts, inventions, etc. All of the different things that you can group things into. Different idea banks will have different categories, of course. Now, keep in mind, when you're done with all of these words, you have, again, a lot of words, 300-400 words. A lot of them will be new words to you. A lot of them will be very everyday, simple words that you know very well. Label these, all the words. Every word you know, put a green sticker or a green mark, or put a 1, or put a yes, or put a K, whatever works for you. All the words that you sort of know, you've seen them before or you've heard them before, but you're not 100% sure, put an orange, or a 2, or a DK, or a SK, etc. And the words that are completely new to you, that you really don't know, they're brand new words to you, put a red, or a 3, or a DK, or whatever symbol works for you. That way, you know which words to start working on first. All the words you don't know, you start working on them. Find out what they mean, find out how to use them, start remembering them. And then, as they pass from red to orange, you can still review them, but go to more new words. The orange words, review, eventually they become green, the words you know, etc. And that's how you build your vocabulary. In your categories, make sure you have a category just for verbs, a category just for phrasal verbs, or you can put them with the idioms and phrasal verbs together, and make one for collocations. For example, let's go to education again. If you sometimes get confused and you think about make homework, in your writing you say students need to make homework. Make homework is a bad collocation. It's not the correct collocation. You do homework. You submit homework. You complete homework. Make sure you have these collocations correctly down in your idea bank. And the most important, use all of the new words. Use all of the new expressions. Just remembering them won't help you. You need to actually use them. You have to put them in a contextual situation, in a context, in an essay, in whatever it is you're doing, okay? And then that's your vocabulary. And remember, words are ideas. Once you have more vocabulary, you already have more ideas. So if you do only this part of the idea bank, you've already done pretty well for yourself, okay? But there's more to do, a lot more work to do. Let's go to the next one. Oh, sorry, let me give you an example. So this is from my idea bank about technology and the internet. This is one category, people. And I have anonymous, technophobe, technical support staff, techie, repair person, all kinds of different words, but some of them you know, I'm sure, some of them you don't know. Like a lot of you know user and host or engineer, but do you know technophobe? Phobe means, or phobia means fear. A technophobe is a person who is afraid of technology, okay? Well, you have, here you have technophile, philo, love. A technophile is a person who loves technology. New words, start using them. Instead of just saying user or person who uses the internet, person who doesn't like the internet, use technophobe, technophile. All of these are people. Some of you might be a little surprised how many people are involved in technology. Now, the internet here, issues. Censorship is an issue. Like, should governments censor the internet? Should they open it, etc.? Okay, so copyright. Copyright, things just because something is on the internet and you can see it for free doesn't mean you can use it, right? There are copyright laws and rules. So all kinds of different issues I can ask about the internet. All vocabulary. As soon as I have the vocabulary, I start having the ideas, okay? Now, the next thing I want you to work on in relation to vocabulary, key synonyms. So again, remember I said you don't want to use student, 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 student. You want to have synonyms ready for the word student, so you don't have to use it a lot. So here, it is much easier to maintain contact with family. So people use communicate or maintain contact. You can also say keep in touch with, interact with, communicate with, reach out to, connect with. These are all different ways of saying the same thing. Make sure that the words that you think are commonly used when you're talking about technology, make sure you have alternative ways to say it. Okay. Subtopics. Now again, remember I mentioned you have your general topic, technology, but then there are all kinds of different things that they can ask you about technology or about the internet. For example, a subtopic about the internet, online shopping. What are the positive aspects of online shopping? What are the negative aspects of online shopping? And start thinking of different ideas. The positives, you can save time, you can save money. The negatives, it's just too easy to buy. Just press a button, so you're spending too much money, you're buying things you don't need. Okay, so lots of good points, lots of bad points. Try to give yourself at least 20 or so subtopics. And then again, once you have all of these different ideas, they can ask you any question. You'll have thought about the general topic enough that you can answer any question. Now, speaking of question, you can get a lot of these online. Just search different IELTS and TOEFL websites, but also start creating your own. And don't just create like, do you agree or disagree questions. Make sure that you're asking all the different types of questions that you might see. Agree, disagree, yes, no, advantage, disadvantage, compare, with opinion, without opinion, open. For IELTS, make sure you have some two-part questions as well. Just be careful that you're ready for anything that comes your way. Now, what I mean here by adapt topics to the question types, try to take certain topics in a question and ask more or less the same thing in a different style of question. So one of the questions I just showed you before, has an over-reliance on technology made young people more or less creative these days? So this is a yes-no question. Fine. Take the same idea, the same subtopic, and ask it in a different way. Young people have allowed machines to perform so many ways, ... Do you agree or disagree with this statement? So I took my yes-no question, I've made it into agree, disagree. And then I wrote the same question a little bit longer, a little bit more, overly written, but sometimes you're gonna see this. And I made it into a discuss both views and say which you agree with. So yes, no, agree, disagree, discuss, and give your opinion. Same topic, how machine use affects young people's behaviors and brains, essentially. Take the questions, adapt them to the different types of questions that you might see. Now, okay, let's look at examples. Now, what do I mean by examples? You have to have very concrete examples to use in your essay. If you're presenting an argument or if you're presenting a cause or a process, you want to back it up with some concrete examples. So you can use surveys or studies or research. You can use your own experience. Ideally, this is the best. If you can have your own experience on a topic, use that. But again, as long as it fits the situation, as long as it suits the topic. Make yourself lists. So for example, for technology, think of some famous project like the Mars rover, Sputnik, etc. Think of people, entrepreneurs, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Jack Ma. These are all famous people that everybody knows. Use them to support an idea. I use Steve Jobs for all kinds of different essays because he's good for technology, for education, for art, for society, etc. He's a very good example for lots of different topics. So try to think of examples that you can use on more than just one very specific essay, and then apply it to all different types of things. And of course, the most important thing you need to do is study sample essays. Now, what you should do is find very good essays online and find real essays written by real people as much as you can. Don't just study you need a 7.5, so you study only 7.5 essays. Doesn't work that way. Study 6, 7, 9, all the different types of essays that you can find, and compare. Why did this essay get a 6 and why did this essay get a 6 while this essay got a 7? What's the difference? There's a big difference between 6 and 7 band on the IELTS. You need to figure out what that difference is. Check the grammar, check the structures, like sentence structures, paragraph structures, vocab. Do they give good examples? Do they give any examples? How's the logic? Do ideas connect and flow? Are the arguments developed enough? Are they complete? Are they persuasive? Does the person provide enough support for a position? How's the organization from introduction, body, conclusion? A little bit of style always helps. All of these things together work to change your band score. So study all the samples you can find and see what the differences are, okay? Now, you finished your idea bank, what do you do with it? Well, for task 1, it's just mostly the vocab. You're gonna use the vocab, but essentially you just need to practice. You need to summarize things. For the IELTS, the academic, look at stock charts, look at gold charts, look at diagrams, processes, pie charts, etc. Just find all these things that you would see on the test and summarize it. Just say, what do you see? Now, if you're not sure where to find these, a good way to do this is, again, search engine, Google I use. Just put pie charts in the Google search box. It'll give you a whole bunch of things. At the top, you'll see all news, images, etc. Just click on images. You will see lots of pie charts. Pick one, summarize it, go to the next, the next, the next. You'll find a lot of stuff on the internet. It's a good tool. For the IELTS general, you're gonna have to write letters. Just think about everyday life situations. If you're gonna complain, praise, ask for something, ask about something, update someone, invite someone. Think of all these situations. Think of a recipient, think of the context, write a letter. Formal, informal, semi-formal. So for task 1, and the same thing for TOEFL, right? TOEFL, listen to something, summarize it. Read something, summarize it. Ideally, if you can find an article and a podcast or a news report about the same topic, compare the two, summarize it. So this is just practice. Task 1, just practice. Do. But usually that's not where people have the most problems. Most people have the most problems with the essay, so that's what we're going to talk about. And by the way, here are some good places to get things to watch and listen to and read. So news channels, National Geographic, TED.com, etc. Now, with the idea bank for the task 2, the essay, what are you going to do? How are you going to practice? Use the questions. So you have all your vocab, that's fine, that's for the writing part. Start with the questions. You should collect anywhere from 40 to 50 to 60 questions. In my idea bank, I have the different types of, the different question types, and I put at least 10 questions for each question type. Take those, and then just start using the questions. Take the questions 1, 2, 3, 4, and write a plan for each. Maximum 5 minutes. Question number 1, plan. Question number 2, plan. 3, plan. 4, plan. 5 minutes each. Question number 5, plan and write a complete essay in the 40 minutes. Or again, at the beginning, take as much time as you need, but eventually get it down to 40 minutes. For the TOEFL, get it down to 30 minutes. When you finish your essay, question number 6, plan. 7, plan. 8, plan. 4, plans. 1, write. By the time you're done, you'll have a whole bunch of essays. Now you need to start assessing what you've written. So plan, write, repeat. Just do this again and again and again. 3 to 4 minutes for the plan. Then assess and review. How is the writing scored? Learn how your writing is actually scored. It's very important to know this. You can find a link up here for a video, an introduction to this topic anyway. What errors do you repeat? Now, the problem is you need someone to show you the errors, or you need to know how to look for your errors yourself. But look at all your sample essays and see which mistakes or which patterns do you repeat. What are you doing the same in every essay? and try to avoid that, okay? Find out what your weak area or areas are. What is your strengths? So your weak areas, review it, practice it, improve it. Your strengths, make sure you use them more often in your writing. How is your timing? Does it take you 2 hours to write it? Work to get it down to an hour 45, then an hour and a half, then an hour, then 40 minutes, etc. Lots of things to do, but again, you're getting all this from your idea bank, which helps you create these sample essays yourself. So there it is in a summary. Create an idea bank, practice, assess, review, practice, and then repeat again and again and again. The most important thing you need to remember about preparing for the IELTS or TOEFL or any exam is that it takes a lot of work. There are no shortcuts. The idea bank is one of these ways to get you to your goal, okay? Now, I just want to show you one last thing before I go. Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. Again, we're not going to get into the different theories. This is a quote from him. Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. First of all, you could use this in your essays as an example for whatever you want, technology, education, etc. But what I want you to get out of this is the fact that this is true. Genius is about hard work. You're going to get your score by working hard, not by taking shortcuts. Start working on your idea bank, practice, 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 okay? And that's it. That's your idea bank. That's how you're going to start working on improving your writing, and you can apply it to other sections of the test as well. If you have any questions, please go to YouTube and ask me in the comment section. I do read all the comments, but I can't reply to all of them. So read each other's comments. Try to answer them, answer the questions if you can. Good luck with your studies. Come back real soon. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again soon.